Clip1395. I'm Jean Yep, I'm the Member of Parliament for Scarborough Aging Court, and I'm so glad to see such a big crowd out here. That's what we really need to do. We need to support the small businesses in Scarborough and Scarborough Aging Court, and we need to get everybody out here. I want to thank Councillor Jim Karajanis for putting this event together. It's really great to be able to do this and to allay people's fears and get people out. And it's wonderful to see Mayor John Tory and Deputy Mayor Thompson here, as well as councillors Cynthia Lang and Michael, sorry. I would just like to say that on behalf of the federal government, the safety and the health and safety of Canadians remains our top priority. While the public health risk remains low for Canadians, our government is well prepared to deal with the coronavirus. To date, there have been 2 confirmed cases in Ontario and 1 presumptive confirmed case in British Columbia. All of the cases are isolated and receiving care. Hospitals have a strong infection control systems and procedures to limit the spread of infection and protect healthcare workers. I would like to just speak to what the federal government is doing. In terms of international travel advisory, we're advising to avoid all non-essential travel to China, avoid all travel to the province of Hubei, and the visa application centers across China, the Canadian visa application centers across China will remain closed until February 3rd. The reopening of the centers may change subject to further notifications from central, provincial, and city authorities. In terms of matching funds, helping out medical supplies to China, the Canadian government is working with the Red Cross to help facilitate supplies. It's more like partnering with the Red Cross in order to ensure that supplies go where they need to go. Because after all, we still have to make sure that in Canada that we also have adequate supplies here. And the World Health Organization today also declared an emergency global health public warning, and that is more for not so much Canada, but for other countries that maybe don't have as strong health systems or health procedures. And so a lot of other, I guess the procedures, the comments from the World Health Organization is more for those countries to need to strengthen up their procedures. We already have learned from SARS, and so our procedures have already been in place. And that is why we were able to find out about the 2 incidences in Ontario fairly quickly. So you can rest assured that our health procedures are very strong. In terms of Canadians abroad, there are at least 250 Canadians registered in the coronavirus affected region of China. 190 have requested consular assistance to return home. 160 wish to return back to Canada. We do have a plane ready for their return. We are waiting diplomatic permission and visa to enter China. The only aircrafts that have been have left have been the US and Japan, and that's because they already had their chartered planes there. In terms of our border domestically, we have new messaging on international arrival screens in the Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver airports. We also have increased the number of public health officers by 14 to help the border service officers at those 3 airports. So that's 14 additional officers. And in terms of small businesses, the World Health Organization has said not to make it prohibited for business in terms of trade. So that's important that business continues on. And I would like to quote Dr. Theresa Tam, the Chief Public Health Officer of Canada. She says that racism, discrimination, and stigmatizing language are unacceptable and very hurtful. These actions create a divide of us versus them. Canada is a country built on deep-rooted values of respect, diversity, and inclusion. And I would just like to mention that in Scarborough Agincourt, I called many of our stakeholders and our community organizations, and they feel very secure. They have signs not to come in. If you're sick, they have increased hand sanitizers as well as increase in medical supplies. So I feel that we are in very good hands, and that as long as people continue to wash their hands thoroughly for 20 seconds and frequently, that is actually your best line of defense. And also, if you're not feeling well, stay home, and maybe just in this time, take extra care to have good rest. Thank you very much.